My name is Diana Barrero. I'm a doctoral candidate in education at the Ontario Institute for Studies in Education at the University of Toronto. In this video, I will be focusing on a recent article, Achievement as White Settler Property, How the Discourse of Achievement Gaps Reproduces Settler Colonial Constructions of Race. So this article draws on theorizations of settler colonialism and critical race theory to examine the official documents and policies of the Toronto District School Board to illustrate the way that the language of achievement and even opportunity gaps reproduce settler colonial constructions of race. I became interested in this topic while trying to understand why some racial disparities in educational outcomes that had already been documented at the level of the board and the province decades earlier were being treated as a new problem. Additionally, I was interested in understanding why deficit frameworks were still being used to refer to racialized students despite the use of more progressive language, such as the discourse of opportunity gaps, which was supposed to emphasize the way that sociopolitical, economic, and historical context contributes to educational disparities. So the article employs a critical discourse analysis to analyze several documents from the Toronto District School Board to understand how this text, in seeking to address the problem of the achievement gap, also constructed educational disparities as racialized. These documents included the Achievement Task Force Draft Report, the Draft Opportunity Gap Report, and the Finalized Opportunity Gap Action Plan, OGAP. As the article shows, despite shifts in language from achievement to opportunity gaps, these documents continue to reinforce deficit discourses when referring to Indigenous, Black, and racialized students. Additionally, the text obscured how systemic racism contributes to positive outcomes for some students at the expense of others by leaving unnamed the beneficiaries of white supremacy. So, for example, the front cover of the Achievement Gap Report states that it presents directions for consideration to close the school achievement gap for racialized groups in the TDSB relative to other groups. These other groups are not named, yet it's implicit that the members of those groups are white settlers. This omission is significant because the documents set up the white racial experience as the standard for success within the school system, while also absolving the settler institution of responsibility for the oppression and marginalization of these students. This article will be of interest to policymakers, researchers, and educators as it illustrates how these educational policies foreclosed the possibilities of structural change despite using more progressive language by ignoring some of the schooling practices that reproduce inequality.